Here's my question to you all. Does God hate? Now, people always talk about how God loves everyone. But I'm going to tell you, the scriptures also say that God hates. And this idea that he hates the sin and loves the sinner is true, but only to those whom God loves. God hates all sin. Sin comes from the sinner. So there are sinners that God hates, just as there are sinners that God loves. John 3:16 does not speak of God's universal love of all mankind without exception. John 3:16 says one thing, that God loves all men without distinction. In other words, God is not a racist. He loves people of all nations, colors, and creeds. Not just Jews, not just white people, not just black people. That's what John 3:16 is saying. God does not love every single person. This will change your whole outlook on the scriptures, on the world, and on the world to come if you would take notice of what this is really teaching. There are sinners that God hates. There are sinners that God loves. So this was prefigured in his choosing of the nation of Israel, separating them from the rest of the world to be his recipients of his law and of the prophets. But they failed. They failed. But it was never God's intent to have them singled out when it comes to what his overall purpose in the outcome of the world events. God has always intended to save people of all nations, creeds, tongues, nationalities, etc., etc. That's what John 3:16 taught. God clearly says in Malachi 3 and in Romans 9 that he hated Esau. If he hated even one soul, it cannot be said that he loves the entire world. He loves those whom he has chosen in him, and he hates those who were not. And they remain dead in their sin and trespasses. Otherwise,